Hi guys, this is Jerry Brewer of East Bay Hitting Instruction, and today we're going to look at how Troy Tulowitzki adjusts for an off-speed pitch. So this is kind of the sequel to the other swing analysis I hope you've seen on a fastball, because we're going to be building on that and adding to it. So like I said, in the fastball, we saw him hit a home run on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. To recap, we saw that the ball arrived from the pitcher's hand to contact in about 0.4 of a second, and that Tulowitzki's swing from his first movement, where we first started moving forward towards the pitcher, to contact took a little over half a second. And we saw that his stride from the very first movement to toe touch was 0.4 seconds, and his rear elbow and his front hip are in sync in the front heel. So we're going to see some things a little different in the off-speed pitch. Just keep these things in mind. So, how do hitters adjust for off-speed pitches? This is an adjustment. Sometimes hitters just guess a breaking ball and they just sit on it and they just kind of sell out for that pitch. We're not doing that. We're looking at how they adjust. Where you're looking for a fastball or you're looking for something else and you get a breaking ball. So if you think about it, there's a few options, and they are just wait longer. Just pick it up later on down and just swing at in the same time. Or you can start at the same time as you usually do. You can just stride a little slower, maybe slow down your stride as you recognize a pitch, and then swing the bat at the same time. Or you can start the whole process at the same time, stride in the same amount of time, pause, and then swing the bat at the same speed. Or you can just simply start at the same time, stride at the same time, and swing the bat slower to make up for that time difference. So kind of think about which one do you think it is. Do they just stride a little slower? Do they pause? Do they swing the bat a little slower? Do they just wait longer? Go ahead and just think about what you think a hitter does to adjust to an off-speed pitch. And so on this pitch, we're going to be looking at a 69-mile-an-hour curveball. And like I said, it resulted in a home run to left field. And while we're going through this, I'll also encourage you, just think about some of the cues you've heard in terms of keep your weight back, don't lunge at the ball. Just keep these in mind. I think we're going to see some interesting things. So, just like before, Tulowitzki's at the plate. And we're stepping forward here, and the pitcher's about to release the ball, and Tulo is already starting to move forward. So we can kind of get an idea that he's not waiting longer to hit this pitch. And you can also notice how fast the arm is moving here. You have to be some kind of special to be able to pick up the arm speed difference in the two pitches to make some kind of a timing adjustment. So here we go. We're going to start a timer in the upper left-hand corner and count it down to contact. At about halfway, he's recognizing this is an off-speed pitch. His front toe is already down, and he's going to make an adjustment. And here we are at contact. So the ball was released at 0, and from contact it's at 0.53, or a little over 1/10 of a second slower than the fastball. But he was still able to hit this for a home run. So what did he do in terms of an adjustment? So we're going to start this from the point where he starts to move forward like we did in the other one. Tulo does a toe tap, and he's going to start to move forward with his rear hip, moving away from the green line. He's carrying his front leg, as I say over and over again. Carrying the front leg, and boom, he's at toe touch. And how much time did it take? 0.4 of a second. It took the exact same, he performed the exact same stride as he did in the fastball. The exact same speed, exact same time. We can show the two side by side here. If you look at the lower bodies, they are identical. He may have a little bit more bend in the hips on the right, adjusting for the pitch location, but otherwise very, very similar. The only thing we can really get a look at is there's a slight difference in the rear elbows, and we're going to talk about that some more. So he's definitely using the same stride, and that's very, very important. That's really a key point I want to make here, is that hitters stride in terms of the lower body identically every single time. So here we go. He's going to start putting that front foot down. But like we saw with the fastball, his rear elbow isn't dropping. We saw a pretty good link as he's setting that front foot down. The rear elbow is going to start working under. That's not the case here. And we can see here his front foot is all the way down. That elbow is still not dropping. But he is continuing to move. You can see on this green line how his hip is really starting to drift past that. So is he keeping his weight back? We can cycle this forward. Looks like he's moving his weight quite a bit. So he's not keeping his weight back. Here he is again. And let's just watch this movement right here. This is really the key. See how he's sinking into that front leg? That's the adjustment. And now he's going to start his swing. He's continued to move forward towards the pitcher, sinking into that front leg. And finally, as he's soaked up enough time, he's going to start swinging the bat. And there we can see his rear elbow dropping. And starting to pick up speed. Working, those hips are opening up now. He's coming through into contact. So a very similar swing from this point on out. He just built in a little buffer into that front leg. And kept those hips closed until right there starts to open up. Fantastic creating space part 2 movement there, by the way. Okay, so we see that for him to hit the ball from the very first movement is 7/10 of a second. So quite a bit slower. And there's another point I want to make here is really important is his front leg. Or front foot, excuse me. See how much weight he's got over this front foot? He drifted a little bit farther into that front leg and then posted up on that front side. So let's compare the two contact positions. That front foot is really the key. See how it's more closed and up on the front side? You can really see this. Just as a side note, if you go to MLB.com and look at the photos of hitters, they show them the home runs, and see if you can just guess. See if you can get a feel for what type of pitch they hit. Look at the front foot. Is it straight like this? That's probably a fastball. Is he up on his front side? Oh, he made an adjustment. I think you'd be surprised how consistent it is. This is how hitters make this adjustment. But otherwise, pretty similar contact position. Very, very similar. And as he's finishing out his swing, you can tell it's a little bit less elegant than the fastball swing because he has more weight on the front foot. Okay, so let's compare these two. Compared to the off-speed pitch, like I said, there's a 0.13 seconds that we have to make up. But if you look at his stride, they took the exact same time as the exact same stride. From the time his elbow starts to drop to contact is 0.16 to 0.17. I mean, really, that's just the error in the software. That's really identical swings. So we have two different totals, and what we see is that the total swing time minus the pitch is identical. So what we know is that he started to swing at the exact same time. So where did he get the difference? Well, the stride was the same, the bat swing was the same. It's really the difference between when he started to swing with the bat. He started at the same time, he strided at the same time, he paused, and then he swung the bat. So, like I said, he does pause, and like I said, I say pause because it's not a stop. It's a continuation. There's still linear momentum that he can use to convert into rotation when he uses the creating space part 2 movement with that front leg. It's a very, very powerful movement. And really, if you think about it, this is really the only way we can really adjust for off-speed pitches. We can't just wait longer because if it's a fastball, it's just going to go right by us. It's way too difficult to be able to tell if it's an off-speed pitch so early in the stride where we stride slower. We definitely don't want to swing the bat slower. That would just cost us a lot of power. So really, this is the only way to do it. And so we have to build in this buffer in our stride to allow us to be able to make this transition. And it's super important. This is another one of the 1,000 reasons I emphasize the stride so much. Hitters have to have this. They have to have a good stride mechanics to be able to do this. If you land in a poor position at toe touch, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to make this adjustment. and you're just going to flail at it. And like I said, another thing, we need to figure out how to get this lower body and upper body kind of separated, so we can continue to drift with our front side and not swing the bat with our upper body. So, did Tulo keep his weight back? Absolutely not. He definitely moved forward. He adjusted for the pitch with his stride. And so, yeah, that's about all I got. This is not something that's unique to Tulowitzki. This is something major league hitters do, is how they adjust, and they adjust from the stride into the bat swing. So I hope this was educational. I hope maybe you think a little bit about some of the cues we hear and say, and use this stuff, and hope it improves your hitting. Until next time, take pride in your hitting.